Yeah, sadly this isn't my camera. Hello to my wonderful internet friends. Oh no, that's a weird one. Thank you for coming back to watch my face as I talk about stuff. I hope you're well. I'm great, thanks for asking. So this is a take two scenario. I filmed some of this video yesterday. All of this video yesterday, actually. I tried to. I didn't plan what I was gonna say, which is a mistake. Do script videos, that's an important life lesson here. Had a few issues. So, take two! Alright, Jamie, shut up. Start talking about the things now. I've been made director of photography for an upcoming project. We're filming it in a couple of weeks. And part of my job as director of photography, or DOP, or DP, is to decide on and operate the camera equipment on the day and basically be in charge of the recording, the filming side. I was speaking to the director and they prefer the character of prime lenses to telephoto lenses, which is fair enough for lots of different reasons. The issue is, I don't have a hell of a lot of primes with my Fujifilm. You're being filmed on my only one, and the ones that they had available for rental were Canon fit. Long story short, I've been given an absolute beast of a rig to play with to see how I can operate it and whether I think it's appropriate for our day of filming. Without further ado, everyone, meet the Canon C200. This is not mine, the CDL CDS here, this is on loan from school. I'm gonna put this down on the floor now. The floor, by the way, is a very clear, it's the most secure place for it can't fall off that then. So, part of my decision-making process was whether or not this thing would be appropriate for the kind of stuff that I normally do. And it's also a good opportunity for me to play with some industry cinema-grade equipment and see how I'd go about using it on a slightly higher budget maybe in the future. First things first, the elephant in the room is this thing's elephantine size. I tried to mount this on my stabilizer and didn't get much luck. It needs a smaller lens on it. People have been able to make it work with different rigs. I, however, yesterday wasn't able to. Now, for me, that's problematic because when I'm filming dance classes, trailers, and I'm going in and I'm making something, I tend to rely a fair bit on intuition. I'll obviously have shots in mind that I like to use. I'll think about transitions. Most handheld B-roll stuff I definitely plan. There's whip pans that you can do, that you can plan out, that sort of, yeah, rambling. But the other issue that you face is this thing's weight. Now, I wouldn't feel too comfortable in running around handheld, particularly if it's on a heavy gimbal, up and close personal to a dancer when I'm not entirely sure on what direction they're about to throw themselves next. It could lead to injury or it could lead to 10 grams worth of equipment being destroyed. Not about that, not too into that. So, it's a no-go with being put on a stabilizer, which means the conditions that I'll be using this thing is on a tripod, on a slider, on a monopod maybe. On the subject of size, compare this circus elephant to this tiny little mouse, and this thing should be scared. All of the things I've managed to do so far, which have been projects where I've been able to get some pretty cinematic results, have been filmed either on this Lumix G8 or the Fujifilm X-T3. These are both mirrorless systems, which means they're absolutely tiny. This has the benefit of being micro four thirds, which means it's a much smaller sensor than that to get an in-body stabilization mechanism, which means handheld, which obviously this is super easy to use handheld. You get stabilized, smooth footage. So in terms of this one, I'm going to need some very, very heavy industry standard tripods and gimbals and monopods, etc., which are big and bulky to carry around, versus this, which just held in my hand, I can easily get amazing results. That's a thing to think about. The benefit that this thing does have is having built-in ND filters. Now, an ND filter is something that allows you to block out any extra light, enabling you to get the right exposure. Now, the issue that you face when shooting with a wide aperture is the subject often gets overexposed, which means you have to shrink the aperture, the hole that lets the light into the camera, which means that more of the background comes in focus. So, we use ND filters, basically sunglasses for cameras. This is the variable one, which means it's adaptable, and by twisting it you can adapt the amount of light that it blocks out. A feature of cinema cameras is it comes with them built in, so that's nice. Particularly because when you're trying to worry about a cinema grade camera with a large sensor like that, you're looking at having to buy very, very expensive ND filters, which is just another expense on top of operating a system like that. So the fact that they come built in is a plus. Anyway, I've been filming with my X-T3, my regular camera, and the Canon today, so I'm just going to show you some comparison stuff. You've already seen some of these shots, just so you can get an impression on what this thing is capable of, and therefore whether you think it's worth the extra hassle. So, for those of you that have stuck with me to the very end, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. I've been Jamie of JB Canon Moving Images. I'll see you very soon. Bye bye!